So if you claim your Social Security benefits before your full retirement age, you're going to receive a reduced benefit if you make too much money. A lot of people are already pretty well aware of this. But what happens if you retire mid-year and then you want your benefits to kick in? Doesn't seem very fair for that to still be reduced. Fortunately, the Social Security Administration is aware of this, and they've got a special earnings limit rule that allow you to be considered retired mid-year, and they'll take you on a month-by-month basis. And this only applies to the first year of retirement. There's been some fake news that this is going to end next year in 2026. That's not true. That's not going away. But in this video, I just want to show you how the earnings limit works, and then talk about this special earnings limit rule that can help you maximize your money in retirement. Now, my name is Scott Caulfield. I am a CPA and CFA charter holder and the founder of Sophos Wealth Management. According to the Social Security Administration, if you're younger than full retirement age and you earn more than the yearly earnings limit, your benefit may be reduced. If you're under full retirement age for the full year, Social Security is going to deduct $1 from your benefit payments for every $2 you make above the limit. And the limit for 2025 is $23,400. And that limit is indexed to inflation. Now, if you reach your full retirement age during the year, Social Security is going to deduct $1 in benefits for every $3 you earn above a different limit, which is higher. So in 2025, this limit is $62,160. Let's just look at a quick example to see how this works. Let's say you are under full retirement age. You're entitled to an $800 a month benefit, so $9,600 per year. And before you retired and claimed that benefit, you had earned $32,320. So given the limit, that puts you $8,920 over the limit. In this example, the person's still under full retirement age for the full year. So $1 out of every $2 they earn is going to be a reduction. So we're going to see a 50% reduction in their benefit that is over that limit. So they are going to receive a reduction in their benefit of $4,460. So they're only going to receive $5,140 of their full $9,600 annual benefit that they could have gotten if they weren't over the limit. Now, it's important to know what counts as income for this annual limit. It's primarily wages and self-employment income, your net profit of self-employed. Now, as part of wages, they're going to include bonuses, vacation pay, commissions. They do not count pensions, annuities, investment income, interest, veterans benefits, other government and military benefits. So important to know what actually is going to count as income here. And what's going to happen if you were to retire in the middle of the year? So if you've already made over the limit, are you still able to claim a benefit without it being either reduced or eliminated? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. The Social Security Administration is well aware that people want to receive their benefit in the year they retire and they're not actually making money anymore. So they've come up with a special situation, a special rule for people in this situation. So the Social Security Administration will pay a full benefit for any month they consider you retired, regardless of your yearly earnings, if you meet one of the following. So if you're under full retirement age for all of 2025, you're considered retired in any month your earnings are $1,950 or less. And how do we get $1,950? Well, we take the annual limit and we divide by 12. You gotta be under that limit, and you cannot perform substantial services and self-employment. We'll get to that in a sec. Now, the other case would be if you reach full retirement age in 2025, you're considered retired in any month that your earnings are $5,180 or less, and you did not perform those substantial services and self-employment. Again, how do we get that $5,180? They took the higher annual limit for those in the full retirement age divided by 12. Now, what are substantial services and self-employment? This is a tricky one if you are self-employed. It means that you put more than 45 hours in a month towards a business, or between 15 to 45 hours to a business in a highly skilled occupation. And I do want to give a quick aside. For those who plan on using the special earnings limit rule, I would recommend talking to Social Security Administration ahead of time. It can be a little bit tricky. There's a lot of stories of retirees out there who have hiccups in getting their benefits. The Social Security Administration think they didn't actually qualify, that they're over the limits. So I would recommend being in touch with them ahead of time and making sure everything's really ready to go before you claim, so that there are no hiccups or delays. Lots of stories about people being a few months behind on those benefits. Not fun when you're expecting that paycheck. So let's look at a few examples of how the special earnings limit would work. First, a simple example. Let's take Jane. We'll pretend she's 62. She worked from January through June and made $100,000 and retired. Obviously, without the special earnings limit, she would not receive any Social Security benefits. But in her first year of retirement, if she retires in June, she will be able to start receiving a full Social Security benefit in July and receive it the rest of the year. So if she's not making any money in July through December, it's not a big deal that she's over the annual limit. She will receive her full benefit. Now, how about a little bit more complicated example? This one comes right from the Social Security Administration. They take this hypothetical retiree, John. He retires at age 62 on June 30th of 2025. He had already earned $37,000 before he retired, so he was over the annual limit. In October, he started his own business, and he works at least 15 hours a week for the rest of the year and earns an extra $3,000 after expenses. So his total earnings for the year are $40,000. So how does this work for John? Even though his annual earnings exceed the limit, he will receive a Social Security benefit for July, August, and September, because during those months, he did not have monthly income exceeding the limit. He was not self-employed in those months, so he does get the benefit. However, in October, November, December, he does not get the benefit because he worked more than 45 hours per month in all 3 months. So they don't even care about what his income was those months because his self-employment, the amount of hours he worked, was over the limit. Now, I had received a YouTube comment kind of asking about the potential for this to go away in 2026. And I can tell you that is not the case. There was a couple articles that came out in MSN basically saying that the rule was going to expire in 2026. Apparently, there was some sort of publication that came out from the Social Security Administration that was maybe fake, and it was picked up by some news sites or AI and basically said that this was going to expire in 2026. You can go ahead and ignore those MSN articles saying this is going to expire in 2026. That is not the case. The thing that you do need to keep in mind, though, is this special rule only applies to the first year of retirement. If you use the monthly rule in year 1, the monthly rule does not apply to year 2 of retirement. So if you retired in 2025 and you were under the limit for monthly earnings for 3 months or 6 months, that's great. But if the next year you work a couple months, make a ton of money in 2 months, and then you say you're retired the other 10 months, it wouldn't matter. The annual earnings limit applies to the whole year. So the monthly rule only applies to your first year of retirement. Something to keep in mind. Hope you found this video educational, helpful. Appreciate it if you'd like it, and share with anyone you think would benefit. Appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Thanks.